If there was a time in our lives where we felt pressured to just talk to fill the airspace, this is that time for me. And I just wanted to be open and honest with the two of you, Samantha and Cordell, my co-host on this podcast. Do you have anything to say, or am I gonna fill this time to continue to fill this until can because if I keep talk if this keeps if I keep this is Junk House.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
Hey, welcome to Junk House.
Welcome to Junk House. I do. That was not a joke stutter. I started stuttering because I didn't know what to say.
Hey, that was a
Cordell, you
8 out
have
of 10.
Cordell, you have to speak. No, stop. No. Listen, just so you know, Cordell is giving the look that it's like, remember that fucking horror movie that came out like earlier this year, Smile? Cordell was just like smiling deadpan into the camera, and I was like, fuck, I didn't see that movie, and I'm never gonna see that movie, but I think that's the plot of that movie. It's just Cordell smiling deadpan into a camera. I fucking hate this. I'm fucking quit. I quit the podcast. Bye.
We got him. He's laughing.
See, I have done this to Caleb before on a podcast, which is probably why the frustration's there. This is not the first time that I have decided as a joke I would give Caleb no audio support at all.
You unionized against him. I understand.
Yeah. I went on strike for a minute because Caleb was like, we've all had times where we feel the need to talk and fill the space, and I felt no need. I had no desire to fill that space.
That's fine and dandy when you're not on a fucking podcast where the whole point is that people download this to listen to us talk.
Caleb, I'm a big believer that part of a healthy emotional state is a comfortability with silence. And I think if our listeners want to reach a level of emotional health, they need to be comfortable with us taking 10 to 15 minutes to say nothing at all on air. I think they need to be okay with sitting with their own thoughts,
I think you're exactly right, but also fuck you, we're not doing that.
That's good. That's my new dream is I want us to take a 15-minute break on the air, complete silence.
Just a 15-minute cat nap just in the middle of the episode.
Yeah, we are all asleep for 15 minutes and then an alarm goes off and we finish the episode.
There's a cold open.
Now there's a cold open. 15 minutes of silence.
15 minutes.
That's a really cold open.
Wait, did my phone break? What's going on? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Fun fact, there was like the second episode of Just Super when we were doing it. Second or third. I accidentally left 5-10 seconds of silence in the beginning of the episode.
Oh no.
And because of that, I was looking and all of our episodes had a pretty similar listener rate except that one. And I was like, why do people hate Armor? And so I went and I looked, and it's because when I went to listen, there was 5, 10, 15 seconds of nothing at all. And people just stopped listening.
Just laugh.
So it's yeah. And I was like, oh snap. So I went and fixed it and it started improving, but it's interesting. That happened to me in real life.
What if, and hear me out, we keep bringing up this idea of silence in the podcast. As we're recording, we are 5 episodes away from a very important episode.
Most important episode, some would say.
Some would say. And that
definitely the horniest episode.
That is
Nice.
episode 69.
Nice.
Nice.
We need to kind of, I think we need to do a little bit of preparation. What if that's our cold open for episode 69?
15 minutes of silence.
15 minutes of silence.
For you to ruminate on your horniness.
Mm-hmm. No, just so they can like have this playing, but in another browser or another app, have some porn going.
Oh yeah,
They fill the
15
silence.
You get
It's a kind of like
minutes
it's
to just jerk it and then come back.
it's a kind of
something's got to get
podcast.
filled. Something's getting filled.
And it's not only the silence.
I will say, if you're listening to our 69th episode, 15 minutes of reverential silence, and you are watching anything other than 69ing porn, I don't think you take this seriously.
I will accept some other categories of porn, and I think we should just each of us get one category that are acceptable to watch. Okay?
What? No, because
yours is 69.
Wait, are you implying that we're all three gonna watch porn together for that 15 minutes of silence, each on Discord watching our own porn?
But yeah, that's it. There you go.
There's no touching. There's no touching allowed of yourself or others.
Also,
it's just to experience the art.
Cameras have to be on.
And hands in frame.
Hands up.
God.
15 minutes, just three friends watching their own porn together on a podcast.
Why does this sound...
She's doing a great job.
Why does this
I didn't know you could bend like that.
Why does this actually sound like something some like Church of Christ like youth pastor thinks is a good idea?
My God.
No, this is a German art house film.
That's the thing, is that people don't tell you Church of Christ youth pastors have to get a degree in German art house film before they could become youth pastors.
Yeah. You do have to watch 2 snuff films to graduate as well.
Yeah, you really do. Yeah.
But no, it's a challenge. Name one acceptable porn category for a 69th episode outside of 69ing. Gay people can 69.
But
just the category of gay.
The category of gay.
Well, what act? What thing are they doing?
I don't know.
Cunnilingus.
69ing. They got a 69.
What about bootylingus?
Analingus is
analingus, thank you.
Yeah.
Bootylingus.
Is there a way that they can like bend their pelvis forward to make it possible? Because again, you got to be facing each other for a 69.
You know, I think it is possible for 2 people to eat each other's ass at the same time.
Okay, let's all take 15 minutes.
Research. It's funny, when I Googled it, human centipede came up. Is there anything there?
I watched all 3. Only came like 2 or 3 times a movie.
No. Wait,
that's a joke. That's a joke.
I was about to say, please say you have not watched all 3 human centipedes.
Why would I watch one of those?
I'm concerned for people's health if they decide to watch all 3 human centipedes.
This sentence is gonna sound wild, but hear me out. I think the human centipede.
Oh no.
Is the BoJack Horseman of horror movies, where if you've seen all of it, I assume you need therapy.
Oh, okay. I mean, BoJack Horseman is good, but I haven't seen all of it.
But here's what I'm saying is the people in my life who have been like, I love BoJack, watch every episode, it's beautiful and incredible and poignant. They are all people that desperately need to go to counseling. Well,
don't we all, Cordell?
We do, but those fans are something. They're something special.
MILF, that's the category that I'm saying is acceptable.
You can 69 a MILF. I don't understand your hesitance. It's one 15-minute stretch of you watching porn. I don't care who's doing it. There's got to be a 69.
I'm just saying that's acceptable.
What if...
Can a MILF 69?
No.
No?
What if it's animated
acceptable.
And it's a 6 and a 9 having sex? But they're not 69ing.
That's
No, you
funny.
monster.
They're just having sex.
If man, that's not it. No.
Okay, Cordell, what is year one acceptable?
The position 69. Again, I do not care.
Oh, but
Who is-
I mean, other than 69. Did you have another? Or you're saying
For the
it's only
69th
60?
episode of our podcast and 15 minutes of silence in the beginning where we all watch porn together?
Yeah.
There is no other acceptable category for me. It is, I do not care who, like gender, race, anything is enacting it, but it must be a 6 and a 9.
What if it's a 6 and a 9 on the attractiveness scale?
Are they 69ing?
Yes.
Then
They're
yes.
87ing.
No. I don't even know what that is.
I think that's just like a boob job.
Oh. Oh, I could see that.
What's your favorite German? What's your favorite German art house film? I want to go back to that because I've been actually thinking about that kind of in the background this whole time.
You got really thoughtful for a little bit. I was wondering what you were doing.
Well, yeah, because I was
don't
really
know.
like debating.
I don't know any German art house.
I was
Yeah.
debating the merit because, like, if you go to like the older school ones, like you have the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which I really like. Nosferatu is a classic. Metropolis, which like
Mm.
I think is required viewing for people. But then, like when you get into the newer side, you have like Funny Games, which is like a groundbreaking horror film. You know?
It's ground broken. Yeah, I just don't know if I've seen any. I'm looking at. I might have.
So I do have a favorite art house film. I don't know if it's German. I'm pretty sure it's Icelandic.
What is it?
And I do not remember its name or its full content, but I was in a museum of art in Iceland, and they had this little TV screen that was showing this video and this movie that someone made. And it was very artsy and very unsettling. There was like a body, but it was like made out of like not a person. It was just stuff and things, and they were like
Ooh.
like dissecting it. But then there would like be intercuts with other really weird, provocative just things happening. It was very unsettling, but like I remember the strong impression of how it felt. And I guess that's the whole point. This was like 4 years ago.
And one that I know that's not German is The House That Jack Built. I love that one.
That's a good one. If I was gonna suggest a movie to each of you,
Yes, do it.
from the German art house, which I've pulled up a list to help me. I would actually suggest for Sammy, Even Dwarves Started Small, which is a Werner Herzog movie. It's a
Okay.
kind of it's interesting. It's like it's kind of a challenging watch because it gets boring, but it's actually really good.
Wikipedia calls it an absurdist comedy drama.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cordell, I would suggest the original 1922 Nosferatu.
I've always wanted to watch that one. Does anyone else actually kind of nicely dovetailing these two topics together? Does anyone else associate art films with porn?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure if you tell me this is an art film, I'm fairly certain I'm going to see people like doing the do a fair amount.
I would
Yeah.
say so. And I think that's a bad connotation, but it's there.
I agree. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's you because it's like theater people are like the stereotype that theater people are all horned up maniacs. Like, because you have people who get into doing art because they like being a horned up maniac and like having an avenue to express that. And that's fine and good. Then there are a lot of people that just kind of do art without being a horned up maniac, and they get lumped in. So I'm sure there are plenty of art films
Yeah.
that were made by and for horned up maniacs.
1
I mean-
million %.
This podcast is made by horned up maniacs. That's why we constantly talk about stuff. And we're art.
Are we?
No.
Yeah.
Well, you know what is art? Hentai. And you know what hentai is?
Another acceptable porn
Hentai is
category.
anime. And anime has some really weird titles.
Your stupid transitions.
Finally, we get to talk about hentai on here.
Samantha was like, you know what else is art? And I was like, oh yeah, when we read reviews and they're really bad, so guess the movie. And no, it's like, no, it's hentai.
It's hentai. Because I have an anime quiz this time.
Oh my god.
Wonderful.
All right, so I have a little game. I have 6 anime titles. One of them is fake. And you're going to have to tell me which one
I'm
the
ready.
fake one is. Okay?
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Number 1. If I don't successfully pick up 420 girls, I'm going to die in a lot of different ways. Number 2. These are all obviously the English translations.
The English translations.
So it adds to the weirdness. Yeah. Okay. Number 2. Story in which I was kidnapped by a young ladies' school to be a, quote, sample of the common people, end quote. Number 3. My mental choices are completely interfering with my school life. Number 4. I want you to make a disgusted face and show me your underwear. Number 5.
That one's real.
Yoru Yuri, for whatever reason, never ending, heart throbbing, pitter patter, paradox eternal. Or number 6.
That's real.
I want to eat your pancreas.
Oh, that's real.
Okay, Cordell, can we sidebar and discuss this real quick? All right. So first of all, how many of these do we think is Sammy just actually saying what she finally thinks?
I really think like Samantha's gotten to a point of not being able to express herself openly, so she is using a game to tell us those emotions.
Yeah, I mean, I know that I'm diabetic, and that may bring a different flavor to the pancreas, but I would appreciate it if Samantha just told me instead of bringing it up in a game, you know?
Yeah, and I understand that, like, in a way, Samantha might feel that she was kidnapped by a young ladies' school to be a sample of the common people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That needs to be unpacked in therapy.
And
you know?
I think one of these is actually just you, Cordell. One of these is my mental choices are interfering with my school life. Why did you write in on this one?
So I've been having a lot of mental choices in my brain.
Are they completely interfering with your school life?
Yeah, because the mental choice is to not pay attention or do school.
Oh, well, that does, yeah. See, remember when we were roommates in college? Yeah. I made the mental choice of being really depressed and shutting myself in our dorm for 3 months. So that did affect my school life. So I understand what you're doing.
Caleb, I think you've talked me back into it. I'm gonna redouble my schooling effort.
Hey, I'm proud of you,
friend. Thank you so much.
Anyway, I think the fake one is I want you to make a disgusted face and show me your underwear.
I think it's I want to eat your pancreas.
Okay, my answer is number 4. I want you to make a disgusted face and show me your underwear.
All right.
Official.
Mine, wait, no. Nope. It's number 1.
If I don't successfully pick up 420 girls, I'm going to die in a lot of different ways?
Yes, and I will give you my reasoning after I find out if I'm right.
Okay. Neither of you were right. It was actually 3. My mental choices are completely interfering with my school life. I changed the ending. So that's all correct, except it's actually are completely interfering with my school romantic comedy.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
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 I want
So a lot of those just tell you I think I know what your reasoning was. I sent the text in
Mhm.
text.
Mhm.
And when I copied and pasted that title from the website, it was the only one that didn't capitalize every
Which was why
appropriate
I
thing.
thought that you typed it out, and I was like, oh ho
No.
ho, the fool, she made a typography error.
No, I did this with some friends yesterday, and someone had that exact reasoning, and I was like, "Ha, you're just dumb."
Yeah. Well, to be fair, that is how I've taken just about every test I've ever taken. If it's multiple choices, I am just singling things out. I don't know the real answer. I just know it's not two of the four.
Cordell really cares about typography as well. So
Big typographical fan.
If you want to get really specific, that technically isn't an anime because that is only the title of like a promotion for a light novel.
Well, you ruined the whole game, Samantha.
I broke everything. But I thought it would be fun if we made our own titles. Like,
okay,
making up an anime.
Sold. I'm in.
let me know if this would work.
Okay.
Each of it, we go around. I'll start, so it'll go Caleb, Samantha, Cordell.
One word.
One word at a
Yes.
time
Okay.
until we get an anime title.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
really quick, some honorable mentions. We got
Oh, yeah,
Do
we
You
got the
Love Your
Handy
Mom
Munchie.
and Her Two-Hit Multi-Target Attacks?
Oh, I do.
We got Cat Shit 1, which is based off of a Korean manga of the same name. I My Me Strawberry Eggs.
That's boba.
And then this one is actually a very popular anime. It's a Shimonita, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist.
Oh, this podcast would kill
Yeah.
there.
It would not.
I was about to say,
exist.
what would Junk House be without dirty jokes?
House. MD.
Yeah.
Starring Hugh Laurie.
Which one of us is Hugh Laurie?
I think Samantha has the most lead character vibes of the three of us.
I do.
But Caleb has the most natural grump vibes, which is important for being Hugh Laurie in House MD.
And I have spent a lot of time in hospitals because of diabetes, so maybe I have picked up enough medical knowledge to diagnose stuff.
Sure.
Diabetes. Okay, but let's go.
Okay. Monsters.
Found
Presidential.
Pornography.
and
Devoured.
All.
of
My.
Dirty.
laundry. I think that's it. What was so?
Yeah.
what? I didn't type it out. I didn't have enough.
I didn't type that out.
Monsters found presidential
Presidential
pornography and ate all my
And
dirty,
devoured
and devoured
all of my dirty laundry.
and it ends in an exclamation point. Let's be
Oh yeah.
So
either
we're
that
gonna
or a
make-
question mark, like
or all my dirty laundry.
with like a question mark exclamation point, like
an
I'm astounded.
interrobang.
An interrobang.
I think we make two more, and then we rank which one is the most like an anime.
So, for the second one, it
Sammy
goes
start.
Sammy, Cordell,
Yeah.
Caleb,
Yep,
and then
perfect.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start with I
Followed
12
little
angry
women.
so
They
Kicked.
I think that's it. I
So they
followed
kicked?
12 little angry women, so they kicked.
In
Okay,
parentheses,
My balls. In parentheses, my balls.
My balls. Okay, maybe we make 2 more because this is fun.
This is
3
really
more,
fun.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'm starting this time.
Yeah.
Yep. This one, pick up the pace. Just first word. First
Yeah,
word.
we're hesitating too
yeah,
much.
we're
Yeah.
Help,
me.
Dad?
boy.
That's it. No, that's it.
Help me,
There is an anime called Listen to Me, Kids, I'm Your Father.
Just help me, Dad.
Sequel. Help me, Dad.
Help me, Dad.
He's okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Dragons.
Attacked.
4
1,000.
Weasels.
because
Weasels.
Are
dragons.
Penis.
what?
What?
We don't have to put the penis on there.
Dragons attack 4,000 weasels because weasels are dragons.
Where we learned that weasels have been dragons the whole time.
And then there's kind of a war going on between the dragons and the weasel dragons.
The wagons.
The wagons. That's beautiful.
The theme song can be Wagon Wheel.
Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel.
Oh yeah, but while it's like very like just like happy and slow and sweet, the animation's insane. It is like weasel knights in full armor going to battle against dragons with like 4 guns.
Yes.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll hold off the creation because we're gonna make 2 more, and then we're gonna decide which one we actually should flesh out because that sounds fun.
Okay. All right.
My
Grandparents
Lived.
inside
feudal
China.
and
killed
Approximately.
uh 200
Hitler's.
Read that out.
My grandparents lived in feudal China and killed approximately 200 Hitlers.
I genuinely think this is how anime,
Yeah.
like how they come up with their concepts. Is
Hire
they just
us. Hire us,
they
Funimation.
pick something random and then make an anime about it. It's not that hard.
Well, here's the challenge for this next one. Because all of these we've kind of done, they're just all crazy. They just continue crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
We do the first half is normal. So like my grandparents lived in town and I also killed 12 people.
So
Like, just
be
the
normal,
mixture
then
of
be
both.
crazy.
Or we could do the normal after. But there's always like there's like, is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? That's an actual anime.
So the idea is we want a little bit of slice of life and then throw a curveball.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
what I'm.
okay.
At least just for this last one.
Okay.
Okay. Is it me now starting?
It's you starting.
I'm
17.
And
Cook.
Ramen.
I'm 17 and cook ramen. That
Summons.
Horny.
demons.
2.
Kill.
My.
Bullies.
Oh, there we
Yes!
go.
Oh, we wrapped it up. We got it. We got it in the back end. We brought it back because now we have to, oh,
Okay, I'm
That's
gonna
a
read
slice of
these.
life I'd watch.
that's
I'm
a
gonna
slice of. I would watch that.
I'm gonna go through
That's
all
Heather's.
of these. I think that's the one we do because that's probably the best. But we're
Yeah.
we're gonna go through them again real quick.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
got
Yeah.
monsters found my presidential pornography. Monsters found. I added the my in there.
Hey, yeah.
Monsters
Don't talk about your pornography.
my
No one wants to know
presidential
about
pornography.
George Washington eating ass. That's not something anyone wants to think about.
But
Wooden teeth and all.
monsters found it. Monsters found the presidential pornography and devoured all my dirty laundry. I followed 12 little angry women, so they kicked my balls.
My balls.
Help me, Dad. That's a great anime too. Dragons attack 4,000 weasels because weasels are dragons.
I do like
Yeah.
that one a lot. I can imagine weasels going to war with dragons.
That one's like a
vividly.
shonen anime. You
Yeah.
know? That's
yeah,
like, yeah.
for sure.
That is a weasel unlocking their draconic powers to beat the oncoming tide of dragons.
Oh, it's like Attack on
Oh.
Titan.
But attack
Mesh.
But weasels.
Flesh mechs, but with
Weasel.
dragons.
Flesh mechs is the word, is a phrase you said.
Yeah, have you not heard that before?
Don't like it. Don't
Have you not
like
seen
it.
Attack on Titan?
Have
Because
you
that's
not-
100%
I-
accurate.
That's
Here's
what it
the
is.
here's the thing. I have been told that I should watch Attack on Titan, but then I watched the first episode and there was a lot of blood, and I said I'm good, and I stopped.
Yeah. I watched Attack on Titan until they revealed the origins of the Titans and then never got around to watching the last season. Cuz honestly, I didn't love the reveal.
You want to hear some crazy spoilers?
You can spoil it. for me,
Yeah.
it's
Even
fine.
if I watch it, I'm not going to care that much.
If
Where's the
you
Titans
care
go?
about it and are listening, don't listen for like 2 or 3 minutes.
Watch a couple minutes of porn.
So like the Caleb, the whole idea, right, is that the
Uh-huh.
Titans are only on this island because this island is a prison for this type of this like race of people from
Okay.
the outside world, right?
Okay.
And
So
basically,
Australia.
yeah. So exactly. But the Titans are only on this island because they like created them as like punishment for these people, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like are changing those people into Titans, right? But in the past, Aaron's dad, the main character's dad, is the one that makes his son into this like Titan shifter. And he becomes the
He can turn into a Titan at will.
Yes, is the flesh mech, right?
Okay.
The power that Aaron has is the attack Titan. Okay, so it's really strong, but it also has this ability that it can see the future. And all these Titan shifters can like sense memories and know memories from other shifters, especially of their type, right? So Aaron's dad is like, there's this whole king that is being an asshole. And Aaron's dad is like, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill the whole family. And so this is in the past. Aaron and his brother are watching this happening from the future through memories, through craziness, right? Their dad can't kill him. Aaron walks up and is like using their connected bond that they can both see each other's memories because they're both inherited of the same being. and talks to him from the future
Into
and
the
makes
past.
him into the past and makes him kill the people that needed to be killed, and then also makes his dad give him the powers that he was supposed to have. And then later in the future, Aaron does this whole plan where he gathers all of the Titans and stampedes and like flattens the entire planet.
So what is that's the ending?
No, I think there's like more killing. Aaron becomes evil as fuck. And so like there's
So
There's
it's
more.
like
But
he's the
that's
guy
his
that
whole
they gotta
plan.
kill.
yeah.
And
I enjoy watching anime, but there are sometimes where I hear a concept,
yeah.
even as I'm watching an anime, and I think that's a little too silly for me. I'm stop.
Can I do one that's the opposite of that and actually really fucking cool?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to give my opinion on Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah, do that, and then I'll say my cool thing.
Yeah. So my issue with that reveal is because you get to the point where they're like in the caverns and you're learning about like the royal Titan or whatever. Like there's all of this information and you learn about like the society that built this place and this prison and yada 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 yada. I was cool up until that point because up until that point it's like, hey, these giant monsters that eat people are attacking and some people can turn into them and like, ooh, what's the mystery? And then it's like, it feels that reveal to me felt like, and then they woke up and it was all a dream. Like that was the,
Yeah.
does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
it's like when you,
it's very hand wavy.
yeah, like Divergent, when you get to the, like you go through the whole plot of Divergent and then in the end they're like, yeah, this city's just a testing ground. The rest of the world's normal.
Yeah. It's like, okay, what's the point?
Why? Yeah. Like you presented this concept and then completely nullified global stakes at any reason at all. Like if it's all of humanity across the world dealing with Titans, that's a whole different story. It's such a cop out.
And there's definitely stories I'm not thinking of that like I think have done that reveal probably good, but a lot of them are just like you wake up, you're awake now. You're like, okay.
Well, to do that reveal well, you have to like have it be very thematic and important. You know, like bodies. Y'all seen that?
I have not. I'm just nodding my head for some reason.
Are you ever gonna watch it? Do you think?
Probably not.
You okay with a spoiler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, if you came back from the Attack on Titan spoilers but have not yet watched Bodies, hop forward a couple minutes.
Yeah. This is gonna be the Hopper episode.
Oh,
I'll give spoilers after this too.
There we go.
Well, I have spoilers for my cool thing.
Oh, sick. Spoiler
you
City.
can spoil something too if you want.
So, Darth Vader was Luke's father.
What?
In Bodies. It's a hurricane, and these group of like college age goons, these goobers are all at their rich friend's house. They're all rich. They're all obnoxious. They're all doing drugs and drinking and yada, yada, yada. They're all terrible people.
Classic.
But a hurricane has trapped them all in the house together. And the power goes out. And suddenly, their friend, played by Pete Davidson, shows up at the window from outside with his throat slashed. And that kicks off the plot of who killed him, you know?
Yeah.
And so the whole movie, they're all getting progressively worse and more awful. And like, they're all so terrible and manipulative and abusive and awful and horrible. And it's like very Gen Z, like the way they talk and engage with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very like, kind of satirical, but at the end, there's only 2 left alive. And they're fighting because they both, like, basically, it's these 2 girls that have been dating, and the one has been cheating on her with one of the other girls that was in the house. So, like, finds out she's been cheating. They're wrestling. They're fighting. The power comes back on after the hurricane, and their phones boot up, and they see on TikTok that their friend was doing a video. and playing with the sword and accidentally cut his own throat because he was drinking while doing it. And that the entire plot of the movie, all of the terrible things they were saying and doing, and all of their suspicion was meaningless. And that's an incredible way to do that twist.
Yeah.
Like, the idea that they were all just that bad of people the whole time. There was no murderer. There was no secret. They were just that terrible. That's genius. But to be like, the Titans are on an island.
It's on an island.
Yeah. Not about it. But Bodies was a fun ride. I hated every character, but I think that was the point.
Yeah. Caleb, do you want to spoil something before I say the cool thing?
Yeah. In in Oppenheimer, the bomb does explode.
You had so long to think of a real one.
I was literally looking at a list of movies. I was sitting there like, what should I? But then I got distracted because there's a movie coming out that I want to see. And so then I was like, oh, let me look at
What
Showtimes real quick. Bottoms. It's supposedly a very gay comedy.
It looks funny. It looks pretty funny.
It looks funny as hell.
I want to see The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
I also want to see The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Vampires.
And then I got distracted and yeah. Oh, I thought of here's a real spoiler. In the Labyrinth starring David Bowie, David Bowie's the owl in the beginning and the end as well. But they don't actually state that in the movie. So he's been watching the girl the whole time, and it's kind of creepy.
Yeah,
That's
he turns
actually
into an
creepy.
owl.
Okay, so there's this anime. Fire Force Season 1 spoilers.
I've heard this is the firefighters, but it's dramatic, right?
So firefighters there are real firefighters in this universe, but basically this is an anime made by the guy that made Soul Eater, and I love Soul Eater, but Fire Force has quickly become my favorite anime. But it's this world where the entire world was infested by these infernals, and it's these people that like they're basically zombies if zombies spontaneously combusted when they became zombies. And these people can just they can just become infernals anytime, right? And all of these fire soldiers have like there's 2nd gen and 3rd generation fire soldiers. Depending on the generation is like how you manipulate fire. So 2nd gen you can only manipulate it. 3rd gen you can create fire as well.
Ooh.
So it's like firebender versus fire creator bender. The main dude is this guy named Shinra.
It's live action, like M. Night Shyamalan firebending versus the show firebending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt, but like that's it.
That's perfect. But the main dude, so he creates fire out of his feet. So he does a lot of like martial arts kicks, awesome stuff, right? He has this is the spoiler zone. He has this thing called an Adola burst, which Adola is hell. So it's like basically these connections to hell is the idea. Him and his brother, he thought his brother was dead, but he finds out his brother is alive and is like part of this bad guy organization. His brother has the power because he can control heat to expand and contract the universe around him to manipulate time.
What?
There's a fight between the brothers where like there's a scientist that's part of the team that is explaining what's going on because he's realizing what is happening because the character is just like pop, 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 pop. And Shinra gets these powers too, but to the point where it's not where he is controlling the heat. He is using his feet jet so fast that he is surpassing light speed and becoming just like data. So he just becomes these like flashes of light and like shoots through. It's one of the coolest fight scenes I've ever seen in a fucking anime of all ever. And it ends by him like using his body data to basically like his younger brother is the one that can expand the universe. He is basically being mind controlled. So Shinra uses his like life energy by going light speed into his brother to like unmind control him. It's crazy.
I
cool.
might watch this show.
I was just
I don't
thinking
care
that
about the
whole time. I was
spoiler,
like,
it's okay,
that sounds
yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
It's really fucking good.
Which has led me to a question. What is the best place to watch anime on? Like a streaming platform that I could put on my television. So I know Hulu's got a decent selection.
Crunchyroll.
A lot of people use Crunchyroll.
Okay.
It is a paid service. But I mean, like, I don't know where, I think Fire Force might only be on Crunchyroll, but like Netflix.
Hulu mentioned having it.
If Hulu has it, then fuck yeah. But yeah, Hulu also just has a lot of anime. Netflix has a lot of anime. Yeah. There's a lot of good anime on every streaming service, which is
Crunchyroll
nice.
said it had like some free to watch ones, so I might dabble.
Yeah. That's the thing about anime. I always try and push back when people are like, I don't like anime. And it's like, that's like saying you don't like the genre movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's as simple as saying I don't like foreign films. It's like you don't know what that means. You just don't want subtitles.
You don't know. Yeah.
What I typically tell people is there are certain animes that for some reason every time I watch them give me a headache. But that's like maybe 10% of anime.
Yes.
There are 90% of them that I will watch and I'll try. But, will I watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? No. Every time I try, I get a headache.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Oh, I do have to say about Fire Force, though. There is if you do watch it, there is a character that has a Lucky Lecher lure. So, like, her whole bit is that basically every time you see her, there's going to be an accident and all of her clothes are going to come off.
Well,
anime is gonna anime.
Yeah, it's weird and it gets annoying sometimes, honestly.
Yeah,
because she's just kind of a damsel in distress that gets naked.
That is genuinely they're like the thing that will turn me off of an anime the quickest is the pervert stuff that'll show up.
Yeah,
I mean that's one of the reasons that I like My Hero Academia is because the perviest character is the one that everyone clowns on constantly.
Yeah.
And like it is aware that like, hey, these are middle school children. Like we're not being creeps about this. But I was watching a show. I tried it. I tested it. It was like some skyscraper thing. Like people basically just woke up on rooftops and in buildings and like on high rises with no idea of how they got there. And it was just this whole world up there with like a bunch of people trying to kill each other. I can't remember. High Rise Invasion? Yeah, High Rise Invasion. I was trying to watch it. Basically, they just wake up and it's like, wow, we're all stuck on these skyscrapers and people are killing each other and there are these people kind of running things.
Oh.
But I could not, there were like brainwashing masks, whatever. I could not get into it because multiple times an episode, there'd be just like super long shots of just this girl's underwear or like down the show. Like it just constantly so creepy and perverted. And it's like, man, I I don't care about sex or sexuality, but like when it's just pervert stuff, like there's a difference between like, look at these people having sex and like, let's all be perverts together. Like,
yeah. Yeah. There's just, it's sad that there's so many animes like that.
though that'll turn me off the most. I compare anime to fantasy or sci-fi. Like, truth be told, I love sci-fi fantasy. I do not like most of what's out there.
Fair.
Yeah.
Like a lot, because a lot of it is Tolkien clones, you know? A lot of it is very generic, or it's like, I hate dragons, like Dragon Rider stuff. Like, almost exclusively, you show me a fantasy that's like, hey, we're riding dragons. That's the plot. I don't care. I don't want to read that. I don't want to watch that. And
what
for
about
me,
that TV show where they race dragons?
don't want to watch it. None of it, you know? And it's like, just because that's not for me doesn't mean that I haven't found my niche of like Jim Butcher, Brandon Sanderson. Like, there are people out there that write the kind of fantasy I like to read. Just like there are people that write the kind of sci-fi I want to read. I don't want more Star Trek, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But there is sci-fi that's there's sci-fi that's out there that doesn't do that. And I think anime is the same, you know? The stereotypical anime is not necessarily indicative of everything. Like, you will find your kind of thing in anime, for sure, if you give it a chance.
And you should give these last two anime titles we made up a chance, because we forgot to read two of them.
And we can spend the last little bit developing our awesome plot.
Yeah. So we got, my grandparents lived inside feudal China and killed approximately 200 Hitlers.
Genuinely love that idea.
They're like robot Hitlers. That could be incredible.
I think it's time traveling Hitler trying to get back in time.
Ooh.
And they just keep killing the different versions of him that he's coming back and trying.
What if that's the season one? Season one, they spend the time thinking it's legitimately multiple Hitlers, but then at the end of season one, they figure out it's the same Hitler time traveling. You know,
and because he gets to like watch the information of how the past plays out because it becomes part of history, he is adapting and adopting his strategies. He is getting harder to kill every time, and like I don't know. I think that's really legit. And he'll bring back technology that they have to like deal with, but then they've got guns, you know? Like, so they're getting stronger because they're getting his future junk, but he is also getting stronger because he knows their tactics better and better and better.
And the main character, the Mai that is that has the grandparents is actually Hitler brought back in time.
Oh.
And raised as a child Hitler brought back in time and given to this family.
Oh, snap.
Anyway, what's our last anime title?
I want to keep going on that one personally, but I love it.
I want to hear our last anime title before we decide which one to develop.
And I have a slight change to this last one. But I'm 17 and cook ramen that summons horny demons to kill my bullies.
Can we make it 17 years old? That just feels better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to change horny demons, shorten it to succubi, because that's the same thing.
Well, there's incubi and succubi, both for different things. I don't want to assume that all the bullies are dudes. I think the kind of demon that's summoned is depending on the sexual orientation of the bully.
So succubi and /incubi?
At that point, horny demons is faster.
That's fair. Okay, so I'm 17 years old and cook ramen that summons horny demons to kill my bullies.
That's better Death Note. We did it. We improved it.
We improved Death Note. Finally, somebody could do it.
Sexy Death Note. So feudal China.
I think feudal China is the way to go. Like, there's so much in that story. Like, because there's a betrayal moment later in the show too, where one of the pieces of technology they salvaged from future Hitler has like a bug in it, so he can monitor and hear them.
But hear me out. This is my brain cooking. the whole twist of it's a future Hitler brought back and being raised by the family, we can do it in a How I Met Your Mother style where the show opens
With him
with
talking.
with him talking to his grandchildren.
Oh,
So that's how we can make it believable that
Yeah.
it's so long ago it's feudal China, because it's like a granddad's great granddad and grandma. Boom.
Boom,
And then like
boom.
that way, like the last like 5 minutes of the last episode of obviously season 3. This is a 3-season show. We're not stretching this much further.
no, this
Is
has
like-
a set plot.
Then what
is like
about
a
a slight
montage.
change
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
to the title?
Oh, okay.
I got stuck in feudal China and killed. No, it's better.
No,
it's
it's
better. My
gotta
grandparents.
be my grandparents, because then it's like a cool story of like he's telling the story and he's like,
About his grandparents.
sit down by the fire and let me tell you about my grandparents.
So can I offer a rather significant shift,
Oh,
Yes.
but a possibility? Feudal Japan.
It is.
And
It
the
is
reason-
an anime.
The reason I bring this up is because from my Googling, feudal China, the closest they got to feudalism as we talk about it was BC.
Oh,
Whereas feudal Japan went to like
Oh.
1600s AD.
so then
So-
what? Yeah, let's do feudal Japan. That makes
yeah.
Because
And
that's
it's an
only
anime.
400 years away from like, and it's anime, right? Like
Yeah.
it's
Big
It's in
reveal halfway through season 2. All of these time traveling Hitlers. There's also some dimension hopping Hitlers, and they made a colony of just Hitlers,
like Rick and Morty.
like Rick and Morty, or like the Reed Richards
that's like
Yeah.
you could
Council of
Yeah,
Hitlers.
Council of Hitlers.
Council of Hitlers.
Good reveal.
Well, I don't know if he's time traveling. How do they hop dimensions now? Because couldn't they just send their whole council to feudal Japan at the same time?
No, because
There's a gun.
while they have futuristic
gun.
technology, it is limited.
Oh.
Outside of this dimension, only one can exist at a time.
Mm.
Here's my thought too. How did Hitler get the time travel technology? A future group.
Oh.
Why? A Benito Mussolini.
So yeah, no, because Hitler,
Stupid.
most famous genocidal maniac of all time.
Yeah.
So, a future group of extremists decides that their best way of making the world they want is to help Hitler win.
Ooh.
So they start financing and giving him technology beyond the 1940s, like well beyond. And this is, so what it is he starts showing up with 1940s tech, but his tech gets more and more futuristic because the group gets more desperate for him to win. So he's getting better
Yeah.
tech from them, so the tech escalation can keep happening. But this whole time, feudal Japan is getting more technologically advanced too. And so I think the ending is my grandparents realizing that the only way to stop this is to take Hitler out of the equation through the power of love, which is why they take him as a baby and raise him, but they also drop him off on their doorstep before the events of the show, so that the timeline is fixed.
So the grandparents are the ones that take the baby Hitler and give it to the past grandparent.
And it's a slice
Yes.
of life anime.
It is a little bit
And it's
slice of
not an
life.
action anime.
So- but
just
it's
the
like-
raising Hitler.
Well, it's after all this fighting and bloodshed, like most of the people they love, their world, their home is torn and destroyed, and they're like, there is no good end to fighting hate like this. And so
Except
they
for
bring the
love.
baby Hitler back, drop him off beforehand.
That leads to the 5-minute montage of that one growing up and having the grandchildren to start the show.
Yeah. Now, they're going to have kids kind of late because these grandparents, right? Did their kids die?
What if
Like, how are they his grandparents
wait,
if
yeah.
he's on their door? Wait, no, they bring him back and drop them off to the grandparents' kids because they're younger, but the parents, like the grandparents' kids, died over the course of the show, so they go back in time to give the baby to their children, and then that's him. So we're about 1600.
So that way they're not having to be constantly tempted to just end it because they've been killing so many Hitlers at this point. It's just reflex.
Their kids
so they give it to their kids so they can still monitor and they can still be like, we're involved, but we aren't going to be around him long enough to get tempted.
And hear me out. All of this has happened, right? And we've got the How I Met Your Mother style narration going on because the grandparents wrote a diary about it and were like, hey, he can read this when he's a grown man. So that's how Hitler knows about it all, is because he read the diary that told him about it, and he's telling his grandkids. But like, think about it, 1600 or so, he has kids at like 25. That's only like, by the time it's his grandkids, they're still like mid 1700s. So the joke here is that it ends and they're like, who's Hitler? Because one, they're not even to that point in history, and two, Hitler's gone from the timeline.
Yeah.
So we're watching a new world blossom and develop.
I just can't wait to hear Adolf's mom say, Adolf Kuhn, it's time for dinner.
Why do I want to watch this really bad now?
We got to make it.
Well, because it would have obviously one of the greatest openings. And that is the one and only Psychobilly Freakout by the Reverend Horton. He, off the album Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em. And we get to use that as our opening and closing theme song. And that's great. And we're very happy for it.
If you want to help us fund Hitler-sama, or otherwise known as My Grandparents Lived Inside Feudal Japan and Killed Approximately 200 Hitlers, you should rate and review us on Spotify and iTunes, and also send us some love on the Twitter X, if you want to, and TikTok at JunkHousePod.
If you want to email us your own anime titles that we can riff on and create plots equally as awesome as My Grandparents Lived in Feudal Japan and Killed Approximately 200 Hitlers, feel free to do that. Our idea will probably top them all, but if you want to take a shot, email us at junkhousemmailbox@gmail.com.
We're obviously anime experts, and if there's one thing I know about anime, it's that they say one thing every week.
Single anime.
It's my birthday today when this comes out.
Happy birthday, Sammy. I'm so
birthday,
glad
Samantha.
we got to talk about watching 15 minutes of porn. We got to talk about anime on your birthday.
You know what? It's going to be a good birthday.
It's a psychobilly freakout!